to show you another project that I'm working on. This is basically a bird bath that has recirculating water in it, but not only recirculating water, but it also will disappear into the bottom of it, which is a basin full of fresh water. So it's going to be recirculating, I don't know, probably about 5 gallons of water up to the top and then back down to the bottom. And I'll explain that in a little bit more detail here in a minute. What I'll do is I'll bring you a little bit closer, show you this and how it's working, and then what we're going to be doing is digging a hole and installing this, and you'll understand completely of how it's going to work and what it's doing and all that good stuff. So we'll see you here in a little bit. So what I've got here is basically a bird bath. But this bird bath goes a little bit further. And the reason I say that is because most bird baths are on pedestals, or they're just basically a saucer of water sitting on the ground. So what I did here, water pumps in here, flows all through this, and then goes down 2 holes down here at the end. Now, a couple things. From being around ponds like I have, I understand that they're attracted to the sparkling water and a little bit of sound. Maybe not the sound, but mostly, you know, the sparkling clean water that is flowing through, you know, something like this. So that's what I wanted to create, was something like this that had fresh water coming through it. Now, if I would have done that just in this basin, then this water would eventually just not be all that great. In no time at all, I'd have to clean this out. So I've built a lot of disappearing waterfalls out there where water just basically recirculates itself. So that's kind of what I wanted to do here. So I built this out of concrete and then painted it the best I could to make it look kind of natural. This is the first one that I created. I'm working on some more now. So basically I'm going to take a coffee can, drill some holes in it, and put a small pump in it, and then the line, which is coming up right here, will be down into the pump, and this coffee can will sit down into a hole on top of a liner to where it can recirculate that water. And all that'll make sense here in a little bit, because we're going to build this. I'm going to put it together and make it work, and explain it all to you as we go. So that's in a nutshell. I just wanted to create something that was a little bit more bird, frog, butterfly friendly for a garden. We all know that bird baths attract a lot of birds, but having a bird bath that high off the ground, sometimes all the other animals can't get to it. So having it on the ground, all the animals can get to it, and all the critters. And on top of that, we can create fresh water. So that's kind of what I was going for here. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and start digging the hole and shaping the hole to hold the container and the rocks and stuff that we're going to put in it. And it'll all make good sense here in a little bit. So we'll see you here in a little bit. All right, this is the spot that I'm going to put it for now. So this thing is roughly 2.5, 3 foot long. So we're talking maybe 1, 2, 3, at least that. All right. So from here to here, and let's say 1.5 feet wide. So let's go 2 foot wide. All right. So we're going to dig it from there to here, from here to there. Alright, I think that's just about right. Now, this is where the coffee can is going to sit. Then on top of that, we're going to put rock. But ultimately, this top part has to be level, because if not, water will run out one end or the other. So it's very important to make it as level as possible. You can always pick up the liner and add dirt to the underneath of it or take it away to make it level as possible. Now I'm just going to kind of eyeball this, but it's always best to use some kind of level, something like that, to make sure it's right. Now with a liner, you want to make sure all the large things that are in the dirt, sharp pieces of stone, wood, anything like that, is out. That way it won't puncture your liner. This doesn't have to be super fancy. I mean, just as long as it'll hold the water and it's not putting a hole in your liner or anything like that, I think we're going to be in good shape. Alright, so that's good right there. There's our coffee can, which I've got to drill some holes in it in a second. There's our level point right across. Alright, so I think we're good to go on that. I'm going to grab the liner, put the liner in it. Now all the excess liner will be cut off once this is all finished, but for now we're just going to leave it overhang until we get it all working, and then we'll trim all the liner off. Alright, so what I need to do now with this can is drill a bunch of holes in it in order to let the water come into the pump, which is going to be sitting in the center. So that's what I'm going to do now, is drill a bunch of holes in it. So we'll see you here in a second. Alright, I got the holes put in this container, and there's enough room in the lid to put the hose in that small pump. So it's just going to sit down in that container like that, and then that container is going to sit right down there. So that's what we're going to do next. Got that done. So we'll see you here in a second. All right, I got the bird bath sitting right off to the right of the camera there, where you can see it, just so I can get this piece of hose down here where we can work with it, because I don't have a connection on here that will allow me to disconnect it. So I just went ahead and set it right there. For now, I'm gonna go ahead and put this pump in there. I might end up putting a little bit bigger pump in here just to clean the water after we get the rocks in it, but I'm not quite sure where we're going to go with that yet. So there's that. Let me put the lid on it. Alright, that's going to sit right down in there. Now the cord, we want that heading towards the power. Alright, so there's that portion of it. So what I've got to do now is fill this in with rock. I'm going to start with some larger rocks and then get a little bit smaller as we get to the top, and then on the top part is where we'll make it look kind of nice. And you'll see that in a second. Alright, so there's that, and I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab some rocks.